Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today we're playing This Is Not Your Grave. It's a short visual novel-esque thing. I don't think there's any sound either. But, yeah. Where are you? It's hard to breathe. You're on your back, you think. You can't see anything. Through the darkness, you can just barely make out something in front of you. You try to reach your arms out, but they hit something solid, something wooden, like a coffin. Your fingers trace across the grain, searching for the edge of the surface, but there isn't one. You're boxed in on all sides, encased in wood. It's a coffin, you realise. Fear starts to dance at the edge of your mind. Outpacing your confusion, you're not supposed to be dead. Palms pressed flat against the wood, you strain against your container. The wood is flimsy, but the weight behind it tells you all you need to know. You've been buried. Dread bubbles up in your chest, a growing cyst that digs into your lungs. Your breath comes as fast and shallow as the heartbeat that rattles in your chest, throwing itself against the bones of its cage. The infection of panic has overwhelmed you now. Your hands act on their own, clawing at the coffin lid above you. Your nails dig into the wood, splinters forcing their way into your nail beds as you carve into it. Fear has wormed its gangrenous way into you, but anger has made a home beside it. The pain doesn't even register as your fingers tear themselves apart. Your scratch marks turn to streaks of red as your nails buckle and rip away. The raw flesh screams, or maybe you do. Still you persist, scraping your merciless fingertips against the bloodied wood. The coffin doesn't relent, but neither do you. No matter how pathetic your struggle, how useless your hands, you will not lay down and die. The pads of your fingers start to shred off as you drag them across the wood. Blood runs down your arms, saturates the wood, splashes your face. You will not lay down and die. It's bone that bites at the coffin now. No flesh left to cushion your blows. Unnaturally sharp, you tear through the damp wood with ease. You will not lay down and die. Dirt spills onto you, filling your mouth and nose, but you're not breathing. Can't remember ever needing to. Damp soil presses against your eyes, gritty and dark. The earth forces its way into your mouth as you struggle upwards, dirt sliding down your throat. The weight of it is overbearing. It resists your every move with the steadfastness of a guardian. I know better, it seems to say. Stay down here, it is cold, but the worms will keep you company. The earth surrounds you, bitter dirt under your tongue as you scream in vain hope, heavy dirt pressing in with every wail. All things return to me. Know that you are no different. It is right about the cold. Your heat is leaching out into the dirt, greedy dirt. How much of you will it lay claim to? How much will it give? None, you think, or scream, or maybe sing with death-like certainty. To struggle to the end is a noble death. You will never give in to the dirt. As if it senses your resolution, it presses in with more force. Perhaps your body is giving out. It's as if the dirt is a mother who cannot bear to abandon her child as it clings to tighter. You will not leave me. You cannot leave me, it says, heavy and cold. You are coming undone. You are sure the dirt is drinking deeply of your blood. You didn't tell your face to smile, but it does, splitting wider than you thought it could. Soil in your bared teeth and anger in your heart. I am mine, you think softly at first. Mine. The earth wails in anguish, wounded by the rejection of its love. It grows softer, or maybe you grow stronger. Bit by bit, you claw your way up, forcing it to yield. You are yours. Ah, I thought so. After an eternity in the dark, even the moonlight is blinding. You blink the spots out of your eyes and spit out dirt. You can always tell when folks will have a hatchet to bury. Kept the grave nice and shallow for you. See this wretched? It wants very badly to put you in the ground. It is a pale, mutilated thing, staring at you with beady eyes. Also crying. I feel the malice in his heart. The wretched lets out a reedy moan and gallops toward you. You start looking for an escape route. The gravedigger, having noticed your twitching eyes, puts their hand on your shoulder. I think you should stay and fight. Fear not, I'll be here if things get too hairy. But it would be good for you to learn how to answer violence in this violent world. I'll steel myself. Okay, you're really going to fight this shambling corpse thing? You weren't a particularly violent person before, but that was before. Perhaps some things are worth fighting for. The gravedigger lifts their hands and leans back on their shovel, grinning. Each round starts with an enemy preparing to attack, either a quick attack, heavy attack, or feint. Try to use their reaction to predict what they will do. The wretched eyes twitch back and forth in a shifty manner. Try a feint. Both of you try to fake out the other into overcommitting, but it doesn't work. You feel a bit silly. Both of you tried the feint, so it cancelled out and did nothing. Try something else next time. It's winding up for a big swing. Try a quick attack. You rush forward and quickly strike the wretch, but they overwhelmed you with a mighty blow. A heavy attack will smash through a quick attack and best it. Try something else next time. Okay. Heavy attack. Surge forward and overwhelm the wretch with a powerful strike. It was fast, but you were powerful. Great work. A heavy attack will overwhelm a fast one. The wretched is bobbing and weaving. Quick attack. You dash forward and attack the wretch, seeking to overwhelm with speed. Apparently, he had the same idea, and you're forced to retreat after a few ineffectual strikes. Both of you chose quick attacks. They cancelled out and did nothing. Try something else. Bobbing and weaving. Try to fake out the wretch, but it strikes you before you can The gravedigger lets out a long exhale. A quick attack will strike before a feint. Try something else next time. Wretch swan for a big swing. You alert the wretch's powerful strike and attack when the opening presents itself. Excellent. The feint will fake out a powerful strike and leave you with an opportunity to attack. You've worn the wretched down, and now your arm rises for the killing blow. It tries to dodge, but your aim is true. You claw a deep gash into its neck, almost decapitating it. It gurgles and collapses, dead as a doornail. Its body is pale and crumpled, like a cast-off shirt. Your blood is singing in your veins, your breaths fog the night air. You start to reflect on how much has changed in a single night. The gravedigger starts clapping. Congratulations! Not every battle will be so easy, but you should know how it works now. Now that that's over with, I must leave. A gravedigger's work is never done, at least not in this town. But who's to say our paths won't cross again? Best of luck. They amble off into the distance, leaving you standing in the graveyard. You take a minute to recover and then start thinking about your next move. Explore some more. You decide to look around the graveyard first. Most of the gravestones are worn down by time. There are no flowers here. 3 gravestones stand out to you. A large one, a broken one, and one with an elaborate inscription. The broken one. Age has weathered this grave the most. It is full of pitting and black discoloration, and the top half is broken off. You can barely make out what might be the person's name. Looking closer, the shape the stones make on the ground resembles a crying face. 2 small furrows in the dirt stand for eyes, and the broken off top is the mouth. Unnerved, you turn back. Okay. The grave towers over the others. It is nearly as tall as you. The stone is lighter than the others, and curiously, has no name on it. It appears to record a series of tally marks. The starting pair's edges are softened with age, while the bottommost tallies look newly engraved. Whatever this is recording, it has been recording for a long time. What is it counting? Boop. The inscription is floral in nature, full of swoops and flourishes. Rain and age have weathered the stone and taken some smaller details out, but you can still make out most of it. Order, Dumber, beloved father and husband. Okay. He tended to the land graciously and with care. Happiness is to hold flowers in both hands. The date is too faded to make out, but you guessed he was a gardener. At the back of the gravestone, you see something strange. It's a series of numbers chiseled into the rock. 1314. You commit them to memory before heading on. Okay. The shed. You decide to go to the shed. The shed is rusted with a sheet metal roof and a door locked firmly shut with a chain slab of a lock. It looks like it hasn't been used in some time. You shake the door, trying to get it open. Rusted out and dilapidated as it may be, you can't get in. It looks like you'll need a key. Damn. Gates? You decide to go to the gate. The gate is made of imposing wrought iron, set in Victorian motifs of roses and thorns. It towers above you. The spiked fence leads out in each direction from it. With no footholds to climb, the spikes look like spears in the moonlight, as if you were fighting some distant enemy. You try to pull the gate open, but succeed in only straining a muscle. You think it would take a great force to open it. You are not strong enough. Not yet. Oh, let's have a look. Hard to make out through the mist and the darkness, but you try. The gate leads out the town, the name of which you have forgotten, but you know its contours. It is your hometown. You can tell that much from the skyline in the fogged distance. A sudden piece of clarity burns in your mind, and you know you must go there. Alright. Backing up, backing up, backing up. Church, I guess. You decide to go to the church. The church stands on top of a tall hill. Its roof comes to a steep peak, extending to the ground and doubling as its side walls. It was painted entirely white at one point, but humidity has caused it to yellow and peel. Some of the roof tiles have lifted. A small circular window. Going on over there. A small circular window looks down from the top floor like an eye, its gaze baleful or solemn both. Perhaps there is something looking down and judging you from it. You stand in front of the church. Then we enter. The door, of sturdy pinewood construction, gives out a lurching squeal when you push on it, its rusted hinges begging for oil. Inside, it is better maintained, no ornamental opulence, but clean and not damp. Wooden pews line up like soldiers to the pulpit. We'll check the pews out. The pews are plain and simple, except for the fact that there is a hooked cane on one of them. There is a thick layer of dust on it. You take it, thinking it may prove useful. There doesn't seem to be anything else you can do here. Check out the pulpit. The pulpit is a simple, rough-hewn block of stone. There are cobwebs on the floor. You think no one has preached there for a long time, but all of a sudden, a wretched jumps out from behind. Defend yourself. The wretched is bouncing on his heels with a surge of energy. That was a quick attack, so we'll do a heavy attack. You surge forward and overwhelm the wretched with a powerful strike. It was fast, but you were too powerful. The wretched is bouncing on his heels with a surge of energy. You try talking now. You hold up your hands. I don't want to fight, you say. The wretched pauses to contemplate your words. It makes a hesitant motion for you to follow it out of the church, always keeping you within its line of sight. It leads you out to the graveyard. Point at 3 gravestones, one with a fancy inscription, one which is broken, and one which is much larger. Help me. It talks in a voice barely above a whisper. You head over to the broken grave. You're not sure what there is to do other than try to fix it, so you place the part of the gravestone that broke off at the top back on the base. The wretched lowers it behind you. Dark ear, it says in a whisper that breaks into louder sobs. It lowers itself back down. Whoops! It lowers itself back down to the grave, sobbing all the while. You don't know what just happened, but you take a moment to gather yourself and recover. Afterwards, you press on. Check the pulpit again. Nothing else. Okay, turn back. Turn back. Now we go to the dock. You decide to go to the dock. The lake is eerily still. There to reflection. You peer over the edge of the dock. As you stare into your own eyes, something catches your attention. Damn, I'm pretty. Sparkling on the surface of the water is a reflection of something hanging under the dock, just out of your reach. Using the cane, you're able to snugly hook the item and easily retrieve it. You turn it over in your hand, surprised by the weight. It appears to be an antique lockbox, all brass and filigree. You give it an inquisitive shake and hear something metallic clink inside. You try the numbers you saw on the tombstone. 1 click, 3 click, 1 click, 4 click. Springs open. The interior is gleaming gunmetal bright. A worn key rests inside. You take the key. There doesn't seem to be anything else you can do here, so you turn back. What would you like to do? I'll stick toes in the water then. You sit down the end of the dock and take off your shoes. You swing your feet around in the water for a few moments. Just. Okay. Next is back to the shed. The shed is rusted. Yep. You try the key from the lockbox. It makes some alarming noises as it turns, and you're concerned it might break off from the lock. But it unlocks the door. The door shudders and creaks its way open, the metal cool under your palm. It is an unassuming interior. A few tools are hanging on hooks, hacksaws, gardening shears, hammers, and the like. Drawers and shelves abound. Examine the drawers. Looking closer, you see a pale glow emanating from one of the drawers. You open it. Inside is what looks like the glowing shard of a mirror, wrapped in a rag to allow someone to hold it without hurting themselves. You take hold of it, and as soon as you touch it, something within you answers. It's like you and it are two opposite poles of a magnet being drawn to each other. You're left with a suggestion in your bones to head back to where you first escaped your grave, and a sense that the mirror shard has exhausted its energy communicating this to you. The light dims. Damn it. Wrap the rag back around it and hold on to it. Yep, makeshift knife. The shells are bereft of anything except dust and cobwebs. You run your finger along them and it comes off grey. The outside of the shed was rusty, but these tools look mostly in good condition. Probably the sheds have protected them from humidity. There is a pair of gardening shears, a hacksaw, a hammer, various screwdrivers, nails, screws, and more esoteric tools you don't know the purpose of. Hanging beside them is an old canvas apron. The initials OB are embroidered in the front pocket in faded blue thread. Maybe it was Orville's. Alright, turn back. Let's just re-explore. Okay. Something calls to. You head back to the center of the graveyard where you were reborn. At first your pace is slow, but as you get closer, it quickens. You steel yourself. Something rises out of the grave dirt. It is a figure much like your own, but twisted beyond human form, pallid and grave-rotted, but sick red meat where skin has been removed. Trails of flayed flesh hang off its form like an evening gown. Its arms are freshly pinned to its chest. Blood still oozing, more pins are struck throughout its body. It is blindfolded, but its head turns towards you anyways. Its mouth opens, but instead of a war cry, out come quiet sobs. You must survive. Do, raise up like a cobra. I mean no harm, you say. The sobs quiet. Go back in. It indicates the grave mound it came out of. Its voice is high and cracked. Each word comes out as a laboured hiss. Damn it. Back. You don't think there's anything more to be gained from conversation. And from the way it slips into a fighting stance afterwards, you assume the feeling is mutual. It's eerily still, like it'd strike at any moment. Heavy attack? You aim for where you expected it to be, but it anticipated that and deals you a mighty blow in the process. The flesh trail stretched behind it. Heavy attack? You both commit to a heavy swing, but neither of you comes out on top. Flesh trails are making quick, jerky movements. The flesh trails reach out to strike you, but your strike crashes through and deals damage instead. The flesh trails are making quick, jerky movements. Faint. Try to fake it out, but its attack lands first. You get the sense it is tracking your movements. It tries to bait you out, but your attack lands before it can execute its gambit. It's eerily still, like it could strike at any moment. It tries to bait you out, but your attack lands before it can execute its gambit. You let out a sigh of relief, having downed the creature. That was a tough fight. But as it rises and wails in anguish, it becomes apparent it is not over yet. Oh, pretty. It has torn its arm scarlet free. Without the large pins, you see more of its torso. Incisions are made with surgical precision to pull layers of flesh back, held in place with smaller pins. The blindfold has fallen off. There's nothing in there. In its chest, where the incisions converge, lies a small pink blob. Perhaps it is breathing. It wails even louder. You must survive. It leans into a low stance. Faint? You make it think you'll strike one way and then head the other way. When it overcommits, it leans into a low stance. Don't do it. Why are you doing this, you ask? Its sobs pause. You negate me. Its voice is raised and trembling with the effort. It starts to wail again, and you don't think you're going to get anything more from it. It leads with a quivering half step. Oh my god. Faint? You try to mislead it, but the senses are keen. It gets in a hit. Its hands twitch. Bollocks, I'm gonna die. Quick attack. You see it once, but it had the same idea, and you hang back after a fruitless exchange. Its sobs become hoarser. Why are you doing this? Its sobs pause. You negate me. Its voice is raised. Okay. It leaves with a quivering half step. Heavy attack. Reaches out to strike you, but your aim is true and you make it pay. It leads with a quivering half step. Heavy attack. Reaches out, but your aim is true and you make it pay. At last you've done it. You've taken the final strike against it, and it must know that it is over, sure as sunset. It takes a shuddering half step back into the grave it rose from. There is a single, breathless moment in the cool night air, and then it lets out a death wail as it collapses. the sound already trailing off into a breathy gurgle. Something has changed within you from that fight. You feel a new strength welling up in you, a surety of self. You make a fist, you know what you must do. Travelling back to the gate seems like a cakewalk compared to what you've already been through tonight. You stand in front of it, somehow it doesn't look so imposing anymore. You take a low stance, put the palm of each hand on each door, and push. The gates sound like they're crying out as you force the welded shut metal open, like a screeching, mangled wail. It ends with a crash as what used to be the gate entrance falls down in front of you. Your breathing has picked up a little, but not that much. You're not sure if you should be afraid of what's happening to your body, but for now, in your triumphant mood, you decide to enjoy it. You stroll into the foggy town. You know there will be other challenges, other monsters greater, more horrible than the one that lies behind you. The journey will not be easy, but you are not scared anymore. And that was This Is Not Your Grave. Short as it was. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Feel free to like, subscribe, check out more content. You can check out the game and the developer down in the description, and feel free to follow me on Twitter where I occasionally drop a comment on something. So catch you all later and hope you have an awesome day. Bye for now.